Will this wine help me live to 100? Maybe. Today I'm going to tell you why that might be the case. So you might have seen in some other videos that I'm in Sardinia, and I'm not far from one of the blue zones. Now, if you've never heard of the blue zones, these are places studied by a guy called Dan Buettner, and throughout the last 25 years he's been looking at why people seem to live long, healthy lives in those areas, and one of them is here in Sardinia, and it's about 30 minutes that way, and I'm actually going to try and take a trip there, although I did drive the road on the way to where we're staying at the moment, and it's very horrible, but we'll see. Anyway, one of the things he talks about in Sardinia is the fact that the Sardinian locals in the area, the blue zone area, drink this, which is called Cannonau wine. And Cannonau is a type of Grenache, but it differs in that it has very thick skin. And as a result of that, it's got more antioxidants and more other beneficial chemicals than most red wines. So when people say, should I drink red wine for my health, or they'll tell you that it's good for your heart, they might be kind of right, but in this case they're probably right, and I'll explain why. So the first benefit of this wine is the fact those thick skins really do give it more antioxidants than any other red wine, and those antioxidants are very, very good at reducing inflammation in the body, and as a result of that they can have some beneficial effects. So when people talk about the cardiovascular benefits of red wine, it's probably the antioxidants that they're talking about, and for what it's worth, you could still get those from normal grape juice, because it's the skins, it's the chemicals found in the red wine skin that's beneficial. So antioxidants from the Cannonau wine is probably the first thing. Now the second reason is a particular chemical called flavonoids, and flavonoids are found in really quite high quantities in Cannonau wine, and the flavonoids have been found to improve cardiovascular health by helping blood vessels develop and improve the healthiness of your blood vessels. So if you are drinking this particular wine, then you might find that that is one of the benefits that you will gain. Possibly there's no way for you to figure that one out, or whether it's actually working for you or not, but that's certainly one of the claims. So cardiovascular health is improved by this chemical called, or this group of chemicals called the flavonoids. Now I said that the thought is that these wines can help you live to 100. That's not true. They might have a benefit in addition to all of the other things that the Sardinians do to keep healthy. So they have great communities, they have lots of social get-togethers and connectivity, they work hard every day, they often have physical activity as part of their normal day-to-day. They eat a predominantly whole food, plant-based diet, which is full of vegetables and legumes and whole grains and things like that. They also have a thing called pecorino cheese, which I might make a video about. I'm trying to be vegan is very difficult in Sardinia, but I have tried the pecorino cheese now. That's full of omega-3 oil, and I'll maybe make a video on that as well. But when you combine all of those things together, and at the end of the day, the Sardinians may sit at the local pub and have 1 or 2 glasses of this wine, well, there's a mixture of things going on there. There's not just the benefits of the wine, but there's the benefits of social connection and the interconnected relationships that are happening as a result of that. So it's probably multifactorial for why folk live a long life here, and certainly a long life which is healthy. And is the wine part of that? Well, perhaps that's the social glue that's holding all of it together, but it's certainly another reason why it's a good, or certainly seems to be a good beneficial thing to the Sardinians here. But if I was sitting at home in front of the telly in Scotland on a Friday night eating Domino's pizza and drinking Cannonau wine, I guarantee that would not help me live to 100. Now there's another benefit to this wine. This wine also contains a chemical called resveratrol, and there are some emerging evidences, is that a word? Evidences? Some emerging evidence anyway, that actually might reduce plaque formation in the brain, and plaque formation is associated with things like Alzheimer's disease, dementia, things like that. So if this is part of your daily routine and you also have all the other good things that the Sardinians are doing in your life, then potentially that might be something that staves off mental health illnesses of the old. So it is worth thinking, or at least trying to put this all together and realize that exercise also does that, good connection does that, being active in your old age as part of a community does that, being involved with younger people does that. So it's not just the wine, but as I said before, it's perhaps is the glue that's holding some of this together. I'm sure there's plenty of people in Sardinia that don't drink at all and they live just fine without it, but it's a nice story that this is part of what's helping people to live a long life. And the last thing I should say, of course, I haven't ever been on this channel advocating alcohol. I used to drink as much as the next person, and I used to drink for pleasure and things like that. I very rarely drink nowadays, and when I do, it's not much. So I'm not going to advocate people go out and start drinking a glass of wine or two every single night. That's probably not, in the society I live in, that's not going to be healthy for you. But I'm on holiday, it's 30 degrees, the weather's lovely, and I'm going to have some of this. And if I see you in 50 years' time, then I've made it to 100. That is very delicious. I was not expecting that. I was expecting one of those moments where I spat it all out or something, but that is delicious. That is absolutely delicious. Anyway, cheers, and here's to a long life. I hope you live to 100. Nice.